Well, I just talked to a lovely YouTuber. She's over in Ireland right now, and getting ready to dig in and take off after that gigantic lymph system of hers. So I thought what I would do is continue reading on question and answers. Last video we did, we had some questions they gave me, but this one lady is a little out of balance a little bit here. And we need to stay in balance here a little bit here. This one here, Debbie, honey, you got to get yourself in a little bit of a balance, sweetheart. Yeah, you got a lot on your plate, and you know, some tough questions there and stuff like that. Some statements that are pretty, you know. So anyway. This is a comment from ABHZ of his. Hi, Dr. Morse. I am asking this question on behalf of someone I meet. He has helped a lot of people before with some quite serious problems, so he is someone I feel I should also help. Oh, yeah. Everyone is worth helping. You know, there's some people that their attitudes are bent out of shape, and for various reasons, they've copped different attitudes and stuff, and that's why I'm saying, you spiritual beings, we can't cop attitudes. We got to get away from the mind, the serpent, if you will, in biblical times. You get away from that mind that pulls you into worlds that you might not want to go into. And you get home, you get centered where you are always home. Remember that old saying, you can't go any place you're not. But that is what people don't understand, that you're already home there. You don't see all around you because you're focusing your attention. And your attention is your consciousness. That's you. Whenever you look somewhere, that's you looking. But we look through, when we're at this level, we have to look through several eyes. We have to look through the eye of the mind. We have to look through the eye of emotions and the eye of the physical body. So when all of these bodies are wrapped around us, it takes our brilliance, our light of God, and the consciousness we all have of God, and brings it right down to the focus of the eye. So that's why you should always seek to free yourself of attitudes and feelings against others and things, because there's no reason to have that. You know, it's tough times on this planet. Different groups have created different problems throughout time, but it's almost like it moves through all the groups. So we just need to start a whole new resurrection of the way we respect each other and the way we understand that all things are of God. Therefore, we want to appreciate things and love things and help things along. Like this guy wants to help this guy. He has helped a lot of people before. That is good. He followed a raw vegan diet. Done water fasting with correct refeeding, etc., and ended up worse off in that I went from having adrenal fatigue to full-blown ME/CFS, chronic fatigue syndrome, by the way. He now can't tolerate many starches or sugars, and therefore has to turn to animal foods as even oats, etc., leave him worse off. I was wondering, would you recommend to him, and any experience you have in dealing with his problems? I just want him to see the light. Yeah, thanks. You know what? Some people have to go in baby steps, but I can tell you, if you feel this man needs to start with baby steps, that means he's pretty toxic. For someone that has had this kind of background and has had this kind of understanding, sounds like this guy's in trouble, lymphatically speaking. So whenever he gets involved in trying to detox, the symptoms are either he's miscalculating them or they're too intense for him. So you could go slow. Fab 4, kidneys, adrenals always, GI tract always, lymphatics. So kidneys, lymphatics, endocrine glands or adrenals, and GI tract. At least get him there with the herbs. As much raw as you can. Start with vegetables if fruits are too strong, and work himself up to the more powerful. So either way you get him, but he has to go raw. I mean, he has to do just what you're doing. He has to do what everybody else is doing, no matter what he thinks he knows or what he knows. This is how you get to Wellville. We can argue over fruits and vegetables, but those are people like Hippocrates. He hasn't got a clue. Just because he's over the Hippocrates, and now seems like interesting developments there. But it's enough to say that this person is not aware of deeper tissue work and regeneration and true fasting. I don't care what clinic a person runs. We are the site that gets into that at the level you need to get to win this game. So you can make claims to hell freezes over all you want. But the bottom line is, fruits are the food of man, period. Fruits and berries and melons. Vegetables, okay. Especially your fruit veggies, like cucumbers and avocados and tomatoes, if you will, perhaps. Those sort of things. Okay. So that's how you would do that with this gentleman here. Chronic fatigue syndrome. You want to clean him out and clean him out of all the... You deworm a person. That's why I'm saying this program that you guys are doing with others, you're deworming people, you're cleaning the candida out of them, you're restoring bowel health, you're restoring proper digestion, you're restoring proper absorption, you're restoring proper utilization, bringing the adrenals and the thyroids up, you're inspiring proper elimination. And so remember, your focus is more elimination initially. And the reason is, and you have to go everything healthy to get elimination proper. So the nutritional side is coming in quite well, quite fine. It is the elimination that you're after. You're after to get the kidneys filtering. You're after to clean up the bowels. You're after to clean up this whole body acidically, lymphatically, blah, 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 blah. And so that's always the way, no matter what. No matter what people know or knew in the past. You've got some people that know half-truths, things like that have big names on them, but they only know half-truths and stuff like this. Some people got big names and they don't deserve them because they don't know how to heal people. So you have a lot of things out there like that. Who cares about all that crap? We're the healers. We understand true healing and the spirituality behind it. That's what's key. It's not just a physical experience. And anyone that thinks so is gravely mistaken. The detoxification is a soul to physical body experience and all the bodies in between. You can't detox without having all areas of your life affected, including the mind and emotions. It's impossible. Just all moves and breathes as one big creation, Hello, Dr. Morris. I'm really enjoying your videos. Thanks. Appreciate that. Who says? Vivian. And always hopeful to see a new one every day. Thanks, sweetheart. I appreciate that. I mean, sometimes, I kind of get carried away here a little bit, so I apologize for that. But, it's hard not to in this seat when you just, every day, it's just, for 40-some years you see that. And I think of Jensen and some of the guys that, Jensen saw a lot of people. And he told me one time he saw over 300,000 people in his life. And I thought that was an incredible amount of people that he saw. It wears on you, when you love people, it wears on you to see people suffering. It does. I hate to see people suffering. I just can't stand it. Any animal, any plant, anything suffering, I don't know what it is. I just can't handle that. Death, that's easy. One body to the next, no big deal. But suffering, nah, gotta go. One question is, someone asked on the Facebook fan page if it is pointless to detoxify other organs if your kidneys aren't filtering. Would not the toxins just keep circulating in the blood? Good question. I suppose initially, when you start detoxifying and your kidneys aren't filtering like they should, that you could have a little bit of that. But I don't see much with that in regards because all the fruit and veggies, especially the fruits and the berries, clean the blood. Make the blood proper in its pH, making it proper in its viscosities, making it proper in all levels. So you don't have to worry about that. And it's alkaline chemistry, so it's a big neutralizer all the way through. You can't really detoxify the body without getting the kidneys filtering. You can a little bit. It'll come out your mouth. It'll come out your eyes. It can come out your nose. It can come out your ears. It can come out your belly button. It can come out of you if you're a female vaginally. It can definitely come out rectally. It comes out in between the toes, in the groins, under the arms. You know, your body oozes everything it can to get these wastes out. That's how come people stink in these places. And it's just proteins and wastes and acids that have to come out. They're post-bacterial active, I hope, you know, so it doesn't hurt that much. So it's just that what it is. But you have to start somewhere, and you can't possibly say, you know what, I can't detoxify because my kidneys aren't filtering. That'd be ridiculous. So, and you can't, whatever you do to the kidneys, you're doing to the whole body. So really, you can't really stop this whole thing, and nor do you want to. And I don't think it's a question you even have to worry about, to be honest with you, Vivian. You don't even have to worry about it. It just, you know, the whole body's going to move and clean and expectorate. It has to, it'll shove it through the colon, or it'll shove it out the mouth, the eyes, you know, anywhere like that. How exactly does protein or amino acids affect the kidneys? Well, anything that's, and of course the action is always on the acid side, but protein in and of itself, high nitrogen, hydrogen, these sides of chemistry, when it's dominating the base side, is destructive in every way. Why? It's just urinary, and it's not just urinary tract. It acidifies the whole body, no question. The eliminative organs, though, they really get beat up. And since the kidneys are acid detoxifiers, they can really get beat up. The colon goes without saying. White flour impactions, meat impactions, weakness of parathyroids creates diverticulums or prolapsus or ballooning or spastic bowels, and then you have storage in pocket. I mean, it just goes on and on and on and on and on. The body becomes a waste dump. So you just have to clean it out, just like you would anything else. Like you take your car down to the car wash and get the vacuum sweeper and go inside. But protein in and of itself, being high aminos, high nitrogen, high acid, damages the whole body, but particularly gut and urinary tract. And how much protein in grams would you consider to be too much to consume in a day? 10. The standard is 20. So now, they say that the average individual, when I was growing up as a farm boy, I had meat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's about 400, 450 grams of protein, probably. I think the current recommendation is somewhere between 20 and 40. That much. The thing is, though, why are we even focusing on dead tissue and proteins and stuff like this, you know? These aren't nutritive foods. Dead tissue is dead tissue. That's dying cells and stagnant blood. Putrefactive, nasty, brings in the worst of the bacteriums, brings in the worst of the worms. You know, this is the protein side. This is the wrecking ball side. And it's just, protein is a byproduct of consumption of nutrition. Except for your nuts and your grains. And when you get into these are dormant foods. Look at your beans. High phytic acid, high enzyme inhibitors, dormant. So we sprout. You know, and sprouting, of course, germination. Then you've got the life coming in, the chlorophyll's coming in. Everything changes in its chemistry. Enzyme inhibitors are broken down. Phytic acid is shoved out, and everything is cool. But not so in their dry states. And I think soaking them overnight isn't enough to change their whole chemical makeup at all. So just not good foods. And I don't know why we're fixated on dead foods as opposed to living foods. Living foods. You know, I sold a lot of beans and grains and stuff in my health food stores, and particularly to an Indian restaurant, but I sold a lot of that, you know, and I'm looking, and at the time I didn't know any better. Well, you know, these are all health foods, right? I was a raw foodist first, thank God, because I was able to see what that kind of eating did to my body, because I was a fruitarian, then went backwards, thinking I was going forwards. I don't know. You know, it's just what I learned. And a lot of you've learned that too. I read your comments here, and a lot of you learning the same thing. I think everybody's affected the same way. I mean, there are some different types of people, no question. I don't buy totally in Ayurvedic types. But There's different types, but really what you see is different levels of digestion, different levels of absorption, different levels of utilization, which is endocrine glands, because we all have them. We all have the adrenals, we all have the kidneys, or at least what hasn't been removed, and we all have all the other stuff, same as everybody else. What's the differences? Genetics, glands, size, shapes, colors, all those things. Okay? Still humanoids. What are your thoughts on leaky gut as far as increased in intestinal permeability? I can only say this. I don't truly believe in the leaky gut in terms of that sort of thing, in terms of leaking in the abdominal cavity. I think I talked about this on one of the videos kind of a long time ago, but I've only had one case where I could smell the person, stool smell, and I knew they were having a lot of pain. So I sent them immediately to a surgeon friend of mine, and he called me up on the phone and said, your buddy's in surgery now. And so he had a true leaky gut. I think there's no question that membranes get thinned, but you would be leaking interstitially into the lymph system if you were doing that. And yes, that is possible, but you have absorption anyway. That's the problem. So leaky gut absorption, what's the difference? You have putrefaction, you're going to absorb it just like you would in a leaky gut. So who really thinks about that? Most people are so malabsorbed, absorption is an issue. So I don't know. I don't know. When you have a leaky gut into the abdominal cavity, your death is coming. So I don't know how I think about that. Perforated bowels, people have experienced them just like perforated appendixes. But that's when it's acidic so long that it's literally falling apart. And that's what's scary. And of course, this is all about acidosis and all about the lymph system not filtering through the kidneys. If you come up with another reason, let me know. Yes, the dietary food going down, definitely acidic, definitely beats up the mucosa. But you have to also think interstitially and the systemic effect of that food, you know. If fruits are harvested when they are not ripe, do they become acidic? Yeah, they are acidic. Acid, the nitrogen growth stages in a plant are just that. They're the growth stages. And it tends to be more acidic in the growth stages. Kind of like estrogen and testosterone grows hair pretty good, right? And these are acids, but they're minor acids. You remember, keep this in mind, that life is just variances of pH from the viewpoint of chemistry. From the viewpoint of physics, life is just frequencies of electromagnetic energy, including chemistry. To God, everything is consciousness individualized and then set through a system of duality. And we call that creation, or the drama, or the soap opera. The way God has fun and plays endlessly. Endlessly. It's the only way. Because something that's infinite cannot become finite. It must create an illusion of finiteness. In and of itself cannot become finite. That's why you, as soul, cannot become materiality. But you can absorb into it and think you became it. But that's how you turn on the movie. You absorb into the movie as soul. You turn on that movie. If it's Dancing with the Wolves, you absorb right into it, and pretty soon you're the wolf on the plane. You're the Native American. And you're whoever you want to be in that. The eternal play of life, you know. But you have rest points in that, and a lot of you guys are going back to the rest points. I am, for a while. What are your thoughts? Okay, if fruits, that's why you want ripe fruits. And I think this is why fruits have got such a bad rap, is that, look, you know, people are basing their conclusions on typical grocery store food. And it's crap. You cannot get good fruits unless you pick them fairly ripe and you're on that food that same day or the next 2 or 3 days. Now you're onto some good food. And I've always said, what's up with California? Organic oranges, this big. Florida organic oranges, this big. I mean, I don't know. Can you get eye damage from sun exposure? Yeah, sun gazers. Look at the guy that really burned his eyes bad sun gazing. I don't know what the hell came up with sun gazing. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. there's all these little quirky things, and some of you guys protect yourself from them, because like this one lad we're dealing with on YouTube here, he burnt his eyes and now he's got scar tissue from sun gazing. Who came up with that? Drink gallons and gallons of water. Tell that to a lung cancer case and see what happens to them. You know, there's got to be smartness. And this is why this site is so important for each and every one of you, because I hope to hell I can say that I'm halfway balanced in this, because we must come out as those that know, those that are humble, those that know truth, those that are the God people that give the love and can help a hand to others and help them, and not get too radical, because there's so many different things you can do and play with, but do they lead you to Wellville, or do they hurt you even more? And that's the problem, is you don't want to do things that has the potential to hurt you even more, like sun gazing. You must be careful. And do you really need it? No. You can sit on the porch, get indirect. You want about a half hour to an hour direct. Me, I'm a sun guy. I'm out all day long working. I don't care. But I don't stare at the sun. Now, you want an alkaline body and you want nice alkaline skin, because if your skin's acidic and you're really acidic inside, you're going to burn. The sun will not be your friend, you know. But you need full spectrum sunlight. Would sleeping at night with my window open, allowing the room to become very cold, cause my body to undergo a detox? I sleep with my window open when I can, because I love the fresh. It's about the fresh oxygen too. You want to always bring in fresh oxygen. Being a little cooler could throw you through a detox. Good catch there, Vivian. Yeah, that could be. You might want to try that. You know what? Give yourself a real big cold and flu-like symptom. I mean, people have to laugh at that, because this is true. We want them. You know, medical doctors, don't get cold and flu to kill you and all this kind of crap. Ye be to the unaware. No one dies of cold and flus. They die from the treatment of it. More like Cipro or one of those killers. Not from cold and flu-like symptoms, body detoxifying itself, although there are some real toxic people out there and you have to be a little careful. But you can't be going through a cold and flu-like symptom and drinking a glass of milk over here. That's what happens a lot of times. If anything could kill you, that would. You know, you don't sit there and drink milk and a milkshake and ice creams when your body's going through a cold and flu. Matter of fact, you shouldn't even be doing those things at all. But okay, let's say you do. You don't want to be putting in loads of mucus when loads of mucus is trying to come out. It wouldn't be a happy experience. So I hope that helps you, Vivian. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Good questions. Hi, Dr. Morse. My name is Martin. I haven't heard Martin in a while. I hope you are doing fine. Thank you, my friend. Trying to get some sleep. I have a straightforward question, okay? I want to know, if I eat only fruits and take vegan PEA protein powder and lymph cleansing herbs, would I be able to clean the lymph as if I ate only fruits? Do you think that the vegetable PEA powder would not allow it to happen? I think it would slow it down. Yeah, I wouldn't even think about that. I mean, even to increase amino acids, ingestion is increasing acids. Because again, amino acid structures take their structures more from nitrogen, hydrogen, as opposed from carbon. So you've got a more acid structure to begin with. So by increasing more amino acids, that's not the kind of chemistry you want to bring in. You really want to go to the fruits and the berries and get all the flavonoids, the coumarins, the vitamins, and what little minerals, who cares? The salts, all alkaloids if there's any. You don't want high alkaloid plants. More plant life and more alkaloid that way. More flavonoid fruits and berries. Good stuff. Just all good stuff. But I would Ixay on the pea protein powder. Put yourself back on it later. You know, detox, get your body detox, and then put yourself on it, and then see if your body even wants it. Muscle test with it or whatever. And if it's good and body wants it, then go ahead. But in detox, make that a special time. You and the fruits. You and the fruits. You know, make that a special time. Maybe some water, but you and the fruits. You and the fruits. You and the fruits. You know what I mean? You and the fruits. Greetings, Dr. M. Can you speak to why fruit goes through me so quickly? Yeah, you know what? That's another thing. They're so energetic. They're easy to digest. And if you have a pancreatic problem, they're liable to go right on through you fairly quick. They will inspire peristalsis, and if you're real prone to spasticity, they could cause some GI spasms because they're so energetic. Fruits are the most energetic food source you can consume outside of berries. Berries and fruits are the most energetic, nutritive food sources, grown properly, picked ripe, that you can get. So, you know, it's not that they're the problem, it's your body that's the problem. And so you want to get that inflammation out of the liver and the pancreas, clean up the bowels, and you have to do it kind of with fruits. So find that balance. If the water fruits are too strong, go down to the bananas, go down to the figs and dates, go down a little bit on the chain there to the sweet fruits, maybe some subacids that maybe might not have that. Just see what foods would do that. Even a small bite of apple would give me stomach pain and diarrhea. Okay, so here's the thing. Do your vegetables first. Do vegetables. Whatever fruit you can get along with for breakfast. And the rest of the day, do raw salad material or things like cucumbers and celery and things like that. See if you can do that through the day. Get on the herbs for the GI tract, the kidneys, the adrenals. Get your liver, gallbladder cleaned out and your pancreas cleaned out. You got to do that. And then you'll be able to handle fruits more and more. And then as your body gets done with the veggies, you'll know that you'll be able to dig further. You'll be able to go faster because you've accomplished this. Fruits are very aggressive, guys, but that's why we use them. People don't understand the power of the fruit. I like that. Power of the fruit. And berries. Power of the berry, amazing, friggin' amazing. When there's so many MLMs wrapped around berries and fruits, you know, that's where the attention is in nutrition. So it's just the populace out here and the misinformation that's been given. Now I can handle a bit more. Aha! But even the juice of apple or pear or any of the subacid group, through me. How about the sweet fruits, bananas and stuff? Fruits in the acid group continue to give me pain and diarrhea. Yeah, you're really inflamed. You have a lot of acidosis going on there, my friend. Get in there, get the stomach and bowel, whatever one you need. Probably sounds like you need number one. You might want to spend about 2 or 3 weeks before you tackle the GI broom. Doing that and a lymphatic capsule and a kidney capsule, jump over and pick up a liquid lymphatic, a liquid kidney, and then go down this road a little bit with the vegetables. Let the vegetables sit there, not near as aggressive. They're kind of like the good old boys in white hats. Just go ahead and use those. Green drinks perhaps, and just start going a slower detox. And then when you have a chance to kick it up. No big deal. It is absolutely no big deal if you have to start out slower than others to get going on this program. We've done this for years this way. There's some people just like this out there. Plenty of people just like this. Once you cut back, you get the inflammation out, you get the lymph filtering, then they can pick up more fruits, and pretty soon the game is won. They've restored their pancreas, their liver, their GI tract, because you're heading for something not good here. So particularly pancreatic. So let's get this straightened around. Oddly, I can drink orange juice or eat as many oranges as I want and have no problems. Excuse me for a minute. Let me respect the orange. I don't know why I picked that. Obviously, it was divine. But I'm telling you, the navel oranges I lived on for 6 months, and you don't have navel oranges for 6 months. I mean, I could tell you stories and you'd be going, uh-oh, divine intervention. Well, because we all needed to do this. We all needed to get together here and hug each other and hold hands and show the world how it's supposed to be done. And if we don't do it, who's going to do it? You know, half the people are going wacko out there. So we have to show stability and balance. That's why I said, Debbie, you got to get your sense of balance and get yourself grounded here. And that's what we have to do is get our emotions and everything in balance. Respect everybody for the individuality, and each is a part of God. It's just the attitudes. It's the emotions and the attitudes that the mind takes on This is all about the perverted mind and emotions of man, not who man is. You know what I mean? I have a lot of orange in my, this might be a clue here. Look at this. This is Gwen. Oh, this is a female. She. Look at this. I have a lot of orange in my eyes and have been working on removal of it. So this Gwen has got a lot of sulfur. Wow. Well, that explains it. You know, and I can't imagine you even able to handle Brussels sprouts, broccoli, cauliflower, anything else either. I don't digest almost all vegetables. Oh. Well, see, you're kind of cross between a rock and a hard. You have to find the foods that you can deal with at the same time. Bring these babies. Bring the sweethearts, the herbs into your life, and let them heal and clean and restore till you can handle more and more and more is what I would do, because that's high sulfur. You want to get that out of there. Not only is it an acid irritant, it acidifies, it bloats, it's gaseous, and then it creates high candida. So you might even have extremely high candida, and you might want to take off on that too to handle the fruit better. I'd like to step up to all fruit, but have so much difficulty. Go slow. You might want to take a glandular for the pancreas, because this would be the pancreas that digests fruits. Your pancreas digests your carbohydrates. Gallbladder lipids. So you've got to work on this pancreas, but I can tell you if the pancreas is involved, your liver might be involved a little bit too. So by cleaning up the bowels and getting the kidneys working, so use the herbs, use whatever vegetables or green drinks you can, slip it with whatever fruit you can, and Gwen, you might, if you have to take baby steps, honey, you have to take baby steps. Whatever you have to take to get yourself a little further down the road, a little further, and you'll find you'll get a little faster, a little faster. Oh, look, I'm going. Oh, good, I'm going. That's what you have to do. And pull yourself around, and you'll be okay, honey. But you've got it. Might have to go slow. And some of you Facebook, this is what you're going to see. A lot of people like Gwen, to the point, remember I've been talking about this, to the point where they can't even drink water anymore. And if you have a chance to talk to Mitri, have him discuss what we discussed in terms of how you get yourself back when you're not taking anything in, that the body can't handle anything. What do you have to do? Now, real important, because you have to start instigating the desire to digest and the desire to move. And yet when you're so inflamed that you can't even handle water down there, that's serious. And you might have to do teaspoons of Heal All tea, just a little bit on the tongue even. Some people are that bad. That's bad. Just a little bit on the tongue. And a little more Heal All tea on the tongue. And a little more every 5 minutes, every 10 minutes. Maybe a little apple. Water it. A little apple. Just a little bit of applesauce or something. Fresh made. Hour later, half hour later, a little bit more. A little bit. You juice it up. You might have to go to that extent to baby steps to get someone back to reality a little bit. Or makeshift reality, whatever you want to call this. So Gwen, much love to you too, honey. And if you have any problems, give us a call. See if we can't work that out. Definitely get on a pancreatic, either the herbs or the glandular, and clean up the GI tract, get the kidneys going. Really start using the herbs if you can to get on this. If you have, the pain, it just shows me you're high. And I don't like this fact that you get pain and diarrhea when you go on the acid fruits. That shows a lot of inflammation, maybe even ulceration. Shows a highly acidic pancreas, a small bowel, and stomach. So you want to take that easy. You might even want to go. I've got a new stomach tea, Gwen. I'm hoping it's out now. Should be. It's a new stomach blend. And it's just for your type of problem. And I would call in and see if it's ready for you. If it is, it's a bulk loose tea, not expensive, like the Heal All tea, but this is soothing. Major anti-inflammatories. Teaspoon at a time if you have to. Teaspoon at a time. But try to get that tea in there. It's got the marshmallows, the slippery elms, got all the healers, the comforts, all the healing. Golden seal. Really will work well in helping to inspire a little digestion, inspire alkalization, neutralization of acidosis, back and heal ulcerations. Good stuff. That's what you might have to use a little bit to get yourself back, Gwen. But get yourself back you must, because I don't like that. That doesn't lead to anything good. Now, let's see who we have here. Where's my time? Oh, this is Andreas. Andreas. I'd just like to say how much I appreciate. Oh, wow, the top notch. Thanks, sweetheart. Thank you, guys. Answering these questions is very kind of you, since a dude of your caliber must be in high demand. You know what? I don't see myself in anywhere like that. And yeah, we're busy, but you know what? You guys are important. All of you guys are so important. Each and every one of you that are suffering is important to me, that you not suffer. And so I'm here to help you, and here for us to make a change together. So we're all in this together, okay? If it wasn't for the enthusiasm and sincerity with which you answer them, I'd probably feel too cheeky to expect you to... Well, sorry about that. I get a little passionate. I do get passionate at times, but my God, look at what's going on here. It's like, oh my God, I didn't know it got so bad. I'd like to ask you a few questions regarding GI health, if you could. Absolutely, honey. Or if it, I can't tell if this is a male or female. I'm trying to iron out a fair few problems at the moment regarding all your favorite areas of the human body: adrenal fatigue, aching kidneys, and brain fog. Oh, the right in the mix, right there. That's it. The adrenal glands, the kidneys, the gigantic sewer system, the brain fog, the central and autonomic nervous systems. That's right in the heat of it. You're right. I've spent almost all of my 30-odd years eating ridiculous amounts of food. This 30-year-old, I'd say at least double what the average human eats. Look at that. It's got to be a male. In my nativity, I felt entitled to live like this, as I've never even been close to being overweight. Uh-oh. Well, I mean, someone that eats this much food, you got two choices. You've got hyperthyroidism, or as a rule, malabsorption. Nothing's absorbing, so it's just going through you. Or you have a little hyperthyroid, metabolism is running pretty good. I never did like those kind of people. Not you, but I always wanted to be able to eat 5-6 times a day and never gain any weight. I do a little on the opposite side. My thyroid is a little on the lower side than on the higher side, so it slows down metabolism. So if I eat one meal, that's enough. That's all you need anyway. You know, I think one of the things you guys are finding, like I did, is it's not the amount of food, is it? It isn't the amount you eat. Like people are worried about calories and crap like that. It isn't the amount. It's what you digest, it's what you absorb, it's what you utilize, and it's also the byproducts of elimination. You do those 4 things. You need very little energy, because the time you fix those, you guys are going to be so spiritual, you're bringing in the God force directly. So between the God force coming into you guys directly from being in the now, and you're introducing the highest vibration. You see what I'm saying? You're starting to get a lot of energy, so be aware. Sometimes you guys are going to have to pull back a little, because it can get pretty energetic. You know, a lot of people are there saying, oh, I need energy and I need energy. There's plenty of times I like to say, have a bunch of mind. I got too much. You know? Let me see. I can literally eat anything I fancy without noticeable weight gain. That's scary. Looking at it now, maybe I've been malabsorbed for most of my life. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, well, get a picture of your eyes. See the beauty of this? We can take a picture of our eyes. It's simple. We can get it done. It's not expensive. And take a look. Isn't that neat? Things do not have to be expensive. I've listened to most of your videos. That's a lot of them. We were just talking about it today. There's 900 and some videos up, although initially we did 15-minute segments. So if we add all of it together, there's probably, almost 300 and some 400 videos. That's a lot of listening over the last 4 months, and I'm going hell for leather. I have to clean myself up. Go, baby, go. Yeah, because it's the end result of what you get. It's the excitement, the power, the God force. It's everything you've always wanted for those that are the spiritual beings. Holds everything you've ever wanted, because in awareness is the answers to all those questions you seek about life. What is it? What's this world? Where do I come from? Who am I really? All those things. I've listened to most of you. This person is really funny. I like this person. I've gone raw and I'm hitting myself hard with about 14 of your formulas. Woo-hoo! Wow, 14. I can't even do 14. Remember I told you Shania Twain was doing 23? 23. Eileen was doing 23. Amazing, amazing. Mutt was doing 17 or 18. Holy crap. Now he's afraid of them. Or something. But you got to get yourself back on the herbs, man. As I've heard you say, first port of call should be the GI tract and the kidneys and the adrenals. First call, port entry when addressing a biological refurbishment. Considering my past eating habits, I'd say it's safe to say I'd qualify for a GI cleanse. But keep in mind there, Andreas, that you're talking about also interstitial lymphatic constipation if you're malabsorbed, and that's the lymph system, and that's going to flip you over to the kidneys. So you always work on all the eliminative organs. What's up? When you have swellings and you have acid, we don't have proper elimination. What's so hard to understand about that? You guys get it. It's not hard to understand. People don't want to understand. They're happy in their little levels that they are. But for the God people, those people that are suffering, they're not happy with that. They want to fix themselves. You know? And that's a mark of a high spiritual being, a being that's one that fixes themselves and make themselves healthy. That's a mark of a spiritual being. On top of the herbs, including the GI Broom, I decided to take on a 7-day Dr. Jensen colon cleanse, including 2 daily Kalimas, and, well, I used to sell Klima boards, and 5 daily drinks of bentonite clay and psyllium husk. My questions regarding this are, number 1, what is your opinion on this protocol? Well, here's my opinion. Be careful not to get impacted with the psyllium and the bentonite. Now, psyllium husk, generally makes people balky and go. Some people it has the opposite effect on you. I think it's going to make you balky and fine. So I don't think, but just make sure. I would go light first, just to make sure you don't back up. You want to keep yourself moving with a colon cleanser with it. And I'm not sure what Jensen recommends, but don't use a laxative. Use one of our restoratives. Keep yourself moving. Whenever you're ingesting bentonite and any clay like that has the potential to cause a major impaction, be careful, because we've had impactions through the years, and I don't take them very lightly. They can be. You could end up surgically having that removed. So you don't want impactions. And so you want to be real careful about that. Sounds like you won't have any problem with that, but just heads up a little bit with that. It's the only thing I have with that. Do you think it is OTT to carry on with Dr. Jensen's recommendation to continue daily Kalimas and bentonite drinks for the 6 months he advocates? Well, I showed you his bowels the other day, didn't I? Yeah. You know what? I really don't think you have to go to this extent, because that's the beauty of the fruits, the berries, the melons, and the herbs. They'll clean all the way out to the rectal flexure, or the last of the last, before it's out. It cleans you all the way through. You don't have to go extraordinary means, because all this does clean you well. And if you're going to do Kalima, you've got to do some type of superfood blend, or at least maybe some chlorophyll. You might want to add some chlorophyll in there if you're going to do some Kalima board work. You can add anything in the bucket you want, but I don't think you have to go to that extent. I think a couple of colonics, but my sister uses the Kalima board quite frequently, but I don't know. I don't think you need to go to that extent. If you want to, okay, but I don't think you need to. And I'm very cautious about too much bentonite clay. Bentonite can be very impactive and toxic, so you want to be careful. Just a little dab will do you, so to speak. In the GI Broom, I have about 2 I'll have to look it up. I have either 2 or 3% of both bentonite and charcoal. Now, charcoal absorbs 2,000 times its size in toxic particles, as bentonite only 200 times its size. Charcoal is a much better absorber of toxins or metals and things, but still, you don't need to do a lot of that, to be honest with you, because the herbs and the raw foods are cleansers in and of themselves. They're energizers too. Clays are not energizers. They're low magnetically and everything else. When you get in the fruits, this is why you're having trouble with the fruits, because they're so energizing to the nervous system and the bowels that they almost create too much when you're highly inflamed. So it gives you a little more diarrhea effect, a little more spastic effect. It's only because they're so energetic and alive. It isn't because they're bad for you. So I would go that way if it was me. Is it necessary? And it is stressful on the system. And I don't think it's necessary at all. 2, my bowel movements, despite eating less and being raw, are still regular. Should be. Because it isn't the amount, it's what you eat. You know? If you can suck every availability of nutrition out of that, keep some magnetics in the fiber as it passes through, you're good. Sometimes going twice, but usually skipping days. Don't like the skipping of days. See how that is? And you'll see this sometimes when you have high inflammation in these areas. You can go that, like Brady, Tacky, hypo. You can go constipated diarrhea, back and forth. You can flip back and forth to these times. So getting yourself on a bowel formula that can regulate you good. You're going to go on the lower side first as opposed to the higher. And you're going to go, you can add more salads to this mix if you can, initially first if you have to. Do you think I can work myself back to normal if my bowels are well, take it. I don't know what he's trying to say. It's considered out of recognition, but yeah, it don't matter. You're returning consciousness and life, and you're uplifting a cell. It's just hard to describe to this, and the only way I can think of it is when you have aha moment. Suddenly, the answers of life come in, or you had that aha moment and truth just seemed to come in. That's what you're doing to your cells. You know, cells are conscious. And so, but they're conscious as related to the genetic remembrance. So as the genetic stances of the DNA and RNA strands and chromosome strands come in, they're stuck with those memory patterns because this goes all the way to the causal world. Believe this or not, even cell patterns go all the way to the causative. Why you're here, cause, and that is cells. And that's where you find the formation of the physical body, is in the causal world. That's when the mind and the images become actually formed. After you leave the causal world, you're in the pure mental world. It's formless. And that's what you can read about from Holmes' work in the universal mind. You can read about the universal mind in all types of places, because there's a lot of even in metaphysics, talks about the universal mind and things like that. The big mind that everybody's little minds come from, in other words. And so, yeah, you're resurrecting that awareness within these cells, because you're using awareness to recognize awareness. It's hard to explain. And just realize that everything is intelligent, and that it can pass and it can interact with your intelligence. It's hard. It's like the law of physics of homeostasis, where by being around higher level thinkers, you become a higher level thinker yourself. Number 3, regarding mucoid plaque. In your opinion, are those long rubbery ropes with people pass actually mucus, or are they the cilium? A combination, I imagine. And if you're using the charcoals, it'll look real black. Sometimes that mucoid plaque is black without any help from without any help from charcoal. It's black from putrefaction, but also you get clear viscous mucus out. And you can get this thin layer of mucus on the bowel wall, And you can see those in colonoscopy sometimes, and that'll come off in sheets. You know, and just like the picture we showed you in the last video of the hunks and chunks this guy got out. I mean, there's some nasty stuff stored in the body that grows in the body. I don't want to say grows, but, you know, builds up in the body after years. It's a sewage dump in here. So we got to clean it out. It's that simple, really. Ropes which people pass, and a lot of that's just mucus from the mucosa. I'm hoping a lot of that mucus that passes through the stools isn't just from 27 foot of GI tract. I'm hoping it's coming from interstitial too. Hard to prove that, hard to know that. I'm on the fence as they have a very similar, consistently to the dehydrated version of the bentonite and psyllium drinks. Yeah, no, you're going to, that mucus and all that, you're going to have all that in there. Absolutely. Absolutely. But like I said, if you look at Dr. Jensen's pictures, you'll see all that black on the wall. That's a mucoid plaque. Some of it turns black, some of it's still clear. You'll see clear sheaths coming out, all kinds of stuff coming out. Yep, yep. However, I can't explain the variation of the colors which come out exactly. And it's just old versus older, you know, that sort of stuff. There is black plaque on the wall that is not bentonite. Of course, that would be more charcoal, that kind of stuff. Then I wouldn't worry about it. Just say, oh, look at that stuff coming out. What more's in there? Mm-hmm. However, I can't, ranging from light brown to green to black. Well, you've got a lot of things to consider. You've got the liver to detoxify. That can be a greenish bile look. You've got cholesterol that can come out of the liver, which is a yellowish look. All your gallstones are bile/cholesterol, same with liver stones. You do have some black liver stones, though, and some red liver stones. I've never personally seen the red liver stones, but seen a lot of black liver stones. But you got those. You got impacted material in diverticulums in the bowel. That's going to come out black. Some of the plaque has been in there so long, it turns black. Yeah, but and it's not your Right. You just clean all that out. The herbs will do quite well with that. You don't need to go to the psyllium and the bentonite. Those are low vibrational, you know, I don't even want to call them foods because they're not really foods. Another confusing aspect is the fact that thick ropes do not seem visible on a colonoscopy. Do they pass from the small intestines also? Absolutely. And I tell you, I've seen black on bowel walls in colonoscopies, but always you have the same comment. I don't know, it must be standard in their books. When you see black bowels, you don't think of plaquing, you think of abuse, stained, that's a joke, stained from the use of laxatives or the use of herbs. I love that. I remember I told you the other day there was a lady that her medical doctor said, "Oh, she did a colonoscopy to check," and she said, "He said you've been abusing laxatives and herbs." She said, "I've never taken any." How do you answer that one, medical doctor? Yeah, that thick ropes do, and I don't know. You know, I do believe that when you take a charcoal bentonite, it'll flavor the color, no question. But I've seen black come out of a lot of people. I've seen it come out of the lungs. I've seen it ooze out of the rectum. I've seen black tarry sewage ooze from almost any hole that a person has, which is not bentonite or charcoal. So you can get really nasty in there. You can get black petroleum looking in the lungs. I mean, I've detoxified a lot of lung cancers, and I don't know any of them that doesn't reach this black tarry stuff at some point or other. The older, the more gnarly. Look at mucus coming out of the bronchi or lungs or sinuses. You've got clear, fairly frequent, yellow, subacute, little older. Green, you know you're getting green now because it's deeper. You feel it, it's deeper. It's older stuff. Now you're getting into the chronic, necrotic stuff. You can get necrotic tissue coming out, but then you get into the more brown to black, thicker, darker, nastier, stinkier, putrefactive, nasty stuff. Then you start to go, I see why people are sick now. Mm-hmm. Yep. Do they pass from the small intestine too? I'm sure. The whole mucosa is in the process of being hydrated and astringed. Between hydration and astringed, that's when you start seeing things move. Thanks again, Doc. Maximum love. Maximum love to you, Andres. Love you. Love you, love you. Love all of you guys. You guys are peaches. You guys are great people. Don't sell yourself short, ever. I'm going to go ahead and come off of here. I just want to make this I never can stop. What's this one? Dr. Morris, can you give me your top 6 kidney herbs for regeneration? Your maximum safe recommendation doses of iodine through kelp? Yeah, you know what? I generally don't recommend much more than, let's just say, I think 100 micrograms would be more than enough. Although I recommend these 450 milligram capsules of kelp. I don't know how much iodine that would be. I've got a book here that tells me, but I don't know, to be honest with you, how much iodine would be in that much kelp. I generally use the 450 capsules, 500 milligram capsules, double O's, and that ought to be plenty. If you're sensitive to iodine, then you can only go on one if you can handle kelp. But that's a great source of iodine and calcium. I love it. Oh, we just had, by the way, you find this interesting. This is my superfood blend. I call it God's Garden because I think we're in God's garden myself. And so I've got 25 superfoods in here. You know, I've got royal jelly, which cost me a fair amount of money to get, but wow, what a superfood. You know, only the queen gets that one in. That's a power. And then I got your alfalfa juice, barley juice, wheatgrass juice, although I don't care much about wheatgrass juice, but the alfalfa power to it, the dandelions, the kelps. I got all the superfoods in here. We just had these analyzed, and the calcium shocked me. I didn't realize how much calcium this formula has got in it. It's a shock. It is a major calcium formula. It's like, wow. So I don't need to recommend kelp. I can just recommend superfood blend along with the parathyroid, and I've got it all. Yeah. Exciting about that. 6 of my top kidney herbs. Good question. Can I say that I'm still kind of in the process of nailing down what I would consider the best ones? I'll say this. Couch grass, I like. I like any of the corn. I put a little corn silk only because corn silk is a little diuretic to it. But pepipsawa, I mean, there's all kinds of kidney herbs. I can't tell you. I can give you my 6 best. I can't tell you. I have to think about that. You know, I like marigold. I mean, there's several really great kidney herbs. That's why you see me with 4 kidney formulas. There's so many of them. I'm playing with the best ones I can find. Gravel root, I don't know. You know, every time I create a formula with gravel root, the formula like stops kidney filtration instead of increases it. So I'm not, I don't know where I stand with gravel root. You know, I mean, the idea of gravel root is good, you know, clean stones, blah, 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 blah. But I don't know if gravel root in and of itself has the ability to break apart a stone. I've never seen anything like that. Where you could use chemistry like magnesium and B6 is what we use for, say, a calcium oxalate stone. But I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to let you, I'm going to get back with you on the 6 herbs. I have to think about that. Because I've been putting together these kidney formulas in the past, and I'm like, you know, I'm not sure which is my favorite ones. I'm still watching their actions. Which formula? I know number 1, kidney formula is by far the most outstanding, the longest I've had. But I'm getting incredible rave reviews on 3, 4. I don't know. I've had to change number 4. It was too strong. So, you know, I'm really trying to get a powerful formula that's not too strong, but regenerative, that sort of thing. But I'll tell you this. You don't have to worry about the regenerative properties of herbs because they all have them. But the cell itself is regeneratable. Life in itself is regeneratable. That's part of nature as it ever expanding and growing, getting rid of the weakness, making room for the strength. It's nature. It's the way it is. It's the way it is in your body. Weak cells are terminated for new ones. I mean, it's just a constant process of birth, life, and death. Strong get out, the weak get out, the strong come in. It's just that constant process. That's why there's virals out there. That's why there's microbes. That's why the whole system's set up the way it is. Well, you know, there's an endless amount of knowledge that can be sought. The problem with it, it'll consume your time, and you'll have less fun and less enjoyment of the ecstasy of life in and of itself, chasing rainbows of thought and knowledge, and you'll never find it. Because, quite frankly, knowledge is a road that goes on forever, and it's all conditioned thinking. And so when you go to school, you ever think about this? When you go to college, you're reading other people's concepts and ideas. Do you ever think to stop reading and have your own concept and ideas? I did that a lot of years because I've had the library you see behind me. Got one at home like this, and I've given away twice this amount of books, and then I still have, hopefully, Dr. Jensen's library in storage. I don't read anymore. I can't read anymore. It messes me up if I read. I want to see. I want to observe truth. I don't want to hear someone's opinion on truth. I want to personally see it and feel it and experience it myself. So I have a hard time reading because there's so much propaganda, so much bullcrap that sometimes you get lost and confused. You're doing good, and suddenly you read a book and suddenly this is a miracle this, and this is a miracle that, and it pulls you away from your path. Be careful with that. I've had that happen for a lot of years, thinking I'll find something better for my clients. I try this. I try the beta-glucans. I try the MSMs. I try all these things, the cell life. And then I realize I'm not getting anywhere because I'm not addressing causative factors. I'm not addressing the living side of life. I'm not addressing the acid side of life. I'm not addressing improper elimination from kidneys. I'm not addressing toxemia in the body. I'm trying to feed my body nutrition and not understanding that it's not nutrition that it needs, it is elimination. Nutrition is easy. Of course you need nutrition. Eat fruits, berries, melons, and have a salad a day, and you've done that. And all the herbs, they're nutritious. We don't destroy. It's not about nutrition. Nutrition is a given. It's about elimination. Much harder. It's so much easier to eat a big bowl of fruit than it is to detoxify a miles long lymphatic system that's dehydrated, anionic, and highly inflamed. It's so much easier just to eat nutrition, isn't it? Because this other is tough. This other separates the men from the boys, the ladies from the girls. Because this is a ride of your life. And this ride leads you into your future. This ride sets yourself up for your next journey in such a way that your next journey will be bigger than it was ever intended to be. You will see that you're setting yourself up both spiritually and physically for a tremendous experience. You can't say that when you take a few supplements and things like that. So you're on an incredible journey of wellness, of spirituality, of love, of beauty, and you all deserve it. And it's your time to enjoy and embrace that. Please do, because I'm going to embrace each and every one of you with a big cyber hug and a kiss, and I love you all. Keep it up. Thank you for all your beautiful gifts of love, and I love you all for that. I just can't thank you guys enough. You really get to my heart, and as a team, you're going to help me change the consciousness on this globe. Thank you. And so a lot of spiritual beings that hang, thank you as well. Bye-bye.